I would like to share with you 3 poems from the Scars Publications 2021 annual collection book. It's called Regarding Utopia. Regarding Utopia, which we happen to have rose-like flowers in a big old bush covered in ice. So, regarding Utopia. Regarding Utopia, there are many things that can happen to it, I suppose. I would like to share with you 3 poems. This first one that I will share with you is titled People Forget Politics, and in tiny print on it, it says that it was written on the 22nd of November, which is before the 1963 date that President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. So this is titled People Forget Politics. There is a brief moment in history when people forget their political affiliation. There are brief moments when something sudden happens and it makes people stop. Barack Hussein Obama, a very leftist Democrat, touted his Illinois ties to Abraham Lincoln, a Republican president, and hoped no one would notice the difference. But what we remember is that Lincoln was fatally shot, and we remember the injustice of such a hasty, rash act. Republican President Ronald Reagan said to operating room surgeons after he was shot, "Please tell me you're Republican." But as I said, at times like these, we forget our political affiliations. We only want to help, to lend a hand. Unless the news is too shocking to believe, and we all can't shake that state of shock. We see the news, we hear the news, we read the news, and we think, this can't be. This isn't supposed to happen. But here we are. And for a brief moment, humankind forgets our political affiliations, and we try to figure out how to put the pieces back together before we can unite and move on. Moment of silence for that one. This next poem I'd like to share with you is in that book titled Exploring Evolution. Exploring Evolution. And it has a fun picture in it too, which if I can show it to you guys, might actually be in color linked to the actual poem if you look at it online, but in a book it's black and white. What can you do? But this is titled Exploring Evolution. We speak of wanting a melting pot and how everyone should get along. But historically, we moved away from others, made religions, learned new languages, and adapted to different surroundings. Therefore, as time wore on, we all evolved. This made all of us different. But when it comes down to evolution, we all came from the same place. So believe me when I say that the world really is a giant melting pot. The history I know of my roots expanded and evolved with the passage of time. So today, in May, I wrap my head around this. And then I realized that on the 11th, in 1800, the French nationalist Jean-Baptiste Lamarck outlined his theories of evolution in his lecture at the Muséum d'Histoire Naturelle in Paris. But on that day, 20 years later, in 1820, the HMS Beagle was launched. That would make Charles Darwin take him on his famous scientific voyage, which led him to writing his natural selection book on the origin of species. Now, Atheists may say that evolution contradicts religion, even though both Darwin and Lamarck believed in a God. And though religion and evolution can exist together in peace, well, that's probably kind of like that melting pot that you're hoping for, where everyone will all get along together, which really is a splendid idea, if only people would understand that we all come from the same place. Because even though we're all different, it's only because we're all evolving. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to read one more poem to close out this reading for you in honor of Tom Woodruff's monthly, first Wednesday of every month at Half Price Books, community poetry. And I got the honor of guest hosting a couple times, but he couldn't make it. But because of the pandemic, because of COVID, they don't like people gathering together so close. I hope that we'll be able to get past this, and I hope that we can feel wonderful maybe with this last poem I'm going to share with you from this Scars Publications 2020-21 collection book. I keep saying 2020, I keep 2021. 2021 collection book titled Regarding Utopia. This last poem I hope you enjoyed is titled Eternal Never Ending Now. We struggle in our worlds. We contend with regular problems, and we look for relief in any way we can. We think a vacation may temporarily assuage how we feel, and it does, and then it's back to the same old grind, that same never-ending meaninglessness. I know it's hard. I know it seems hopeless, but I want to ask you, can you take a moment? Can you pause and think of a time in your life, any time, when you felt at peace? It may have seemed a lifetime ago. Maybe it was at a beach at sunset listening to the waves crash. Maybe it was sitting along a mountainside watching the little cars drive around to little tiny roads below. Maybe it was jumping in a vat of fresh soybeans when the farmer says, "Go look around the farm," and all you can smell is fresh wheat and dew all over the lush green around you. I won't bring up references to bubble baths or baseball games. Just think back to what works for you and remember it. And what I want you to do is find that moment. And you may realize that time then seemed to just stand still. There was no past. There was no future. There was just an eternal, never-ending now that didn't end. During that moment, you don't remember it ending. It was that complete. So if you can remember those times, if you can reflect on those times, then know that that perfect moment of completeness, of wholeness, is within you. Find it, and know that peace is with you, always. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I feel terrible that Tom Woodruff was not able to keep his community poetry monthly, first Wednesday of every month, open mic running, where I'd be able to be sharing these books with the public world, and we have to just do it in confined spaces. This is not his open mic, but I'm reading it in honor of him and in honor of that space, and I hope that we'll be able to share again together. The time is approaching, the time when other people would be reading and we'd say or have our group photos right about now. So I am going to say that I hope everybody is remaining safe. I hope that everyone is remaining poetically inclined, as everyone's remaining creatively inclined. I hope that everyone has been vaccinated who can. And if you can and you haven't, then I smack you. Wah! Go get vaccinated. It's free. I can make the joke as I do as your government says, but then again, we've had measles pox and smallpox, and there have been so many diseases that we've been able to get over because we've had these vaccines. So take care of it so that we can have some normalcy in our lives again, and we'll be able to all get together again, because I think it'd be double plus awesome to be able to see each and every one of you again. thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to being able to meet up with all of you very, very soon in the very near future. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to hearing from you all very soon. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.